Good Thursday morning, everybody, and welcome to KSAT News Now, streaming from our newsroom. It is Thursday, right?
It's
been a long week. It feels.
It honestly has. It feels like a Monday to me.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long week, but it is Friday Eve, and thank you very much for being with us on Thursday morning. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast, and we're also on KSAT.com, Facebook, YouTube, doing the most all the time.
That's right. Yeah. And we want to welcome back our producer, Alyssa Medina. She had been out in Vegas.
Yes, Alyssa.
Having a wonderful time with her husband.
Right, and I don't know if she wants to share any of those stories with us later. That's probably for off camera.
What do they
right?
say? What happens in Vegas?
There we go. Yeah.
Stays in
Vegas.
Definitely. Have we not learned from the hangover?
But, well, yeah, absolutely. I was thinking of other hangovers, yes, but no, the movie, absolutely. But Alyssa, thank you for being back with us this morning. And she was there for Super Bowl, so I'm really excited to hear about that. I've never even been to Vegas for Super Bowl weekend.
I've never been to Vegas, period.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not my thing, but
that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, it is. Well, this morning we're discussing a massive drug seizure, and it happened in the Valley, so the McAllen Far area, and that's truly a scene straight out of a movie. Yeah,
one of my favorite TV shows. I'll explain that here in just a bit. I think Katie, maybe she might know what this TV show is.
I think many of us probably do.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also big changes for two music festivals in Cali, so festival goers, you want to know about this. Yeah,
and a Victoria's Secret model, a new model there is breaking barriers. Pretty cool story here. Plus, get ready to go to infinity and beyond with a new mini golf course headed to San Antonio.
But first, let's talk about weather. My goodness, it's humid out there. We talked about those dew points going up, right?
They really shot up yesterday and early this morning. But if you haven't been outside in a few hours, it already feels a lot more dry.
Maybe it's because I was running around the station because I was running around late. But
a little warm. I have that feeling as well. The big story today is going to be the wind, and I want to point out this graphic. Red flag warning is in place until 8 o'clock tonight for pretty much the whole area. So we've gotten some questions about this. What does this mean? If it's a red flag warning, why is the color pink? A lot of questions to be answered, right? Well, basically what this means is that fire danger is elevated. So I'm changing it over to a different kind of graphic. This is courtesy of the Texas A&M Forest Service, and basically each day they put out a fire danger rating for all across Texas. So here's San Antonio, Bexar County, right in the middle. We are high, but notice off to the south and west in that kind of peachy color. This is pretty much anywhere from Leakey and Bandera County there down through Del Rio and southern Valverde County all the way down to Coachella. That's where the fire danger today is either high, and in fact Coachella, LaSalle County, it's extreme. And so basically the reason why is because we've got really gusty winds in place today. Winds will continue to gust up near 30-35 miles per hour for the rest of the day. In fact, all the way through tomorrow morning. We've also got very low humidity today. Humidity is falling as we speak, and all of our vegetation out there, our grass and any brush, is very dry because our drought situation right now is not good. So the dry vegetation, the low humidity, and also the gusty winds put us at that high, or in some cases very high extreme fire danger off to the southwest of San Antonio today. So any outdoor burning of any kind is highly discouraged. Just don't do it, because any open flame could spread really quickly. We could have some grass fires on our hands, and we do not want that, because any fire that gets started could be hard to control. So let's jump to tomorrow morning. With winds still gusty, this is what it will feel like when you step outside in the morning. So be ready to bundle up on Friday. And believe it or not, we'll be in the 70s this afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll be in the upper 50s, low 60s. So we do have a cold front coming in later today. No rain, but it will really cool us down for the weekend. Afternoon highs, upper 50s tomorrow. We'll be in the 60s Saturday into Sunday. Back in the upper 70s and low 80s by early next week. So as we typically do, we turn things around pretty quickly. But remember the fire danger today. That will really drop by tomorrow, but be ready for a cold start to the day on Friday. Our air temperature is near freezing, but it'll feel more like the 20s. So bundle up in the morning.
So it's a hold on to your hat day, huh?
Definitely.
Don't wear the hat.
Hold on to everything.
Hold on to everything as you can. And actually, Katie, Michael Sinclair, he chimed in on Facebook Live. He says, good afternoon. I think he probably means good morning to the crew. He said, let's help the fire department not to start fires outside.
100%.
So,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's definitely
we want to
advice.
make sure they are not busy today.
Right, definitely.
Yes.
Thank you, Katie.
All right, now to a story out of Brazil. Death and destruction in that country as rescue workers raced against time. The country is dealing with devastating flash floods and landslides that have killed at least 100 people.
Yeah, this is a developing story, Alicia. A month's worth of rain was dumped in a matter of 3 hours, and those heavy rains gave way to mudslides and floods near the Rio de Janeiro area. Houses were swept away, and today's rescue efforts continue.
It's hard to watch those videos. At least 104 people have died. Almost 400 people are without a home now. 80 houses were hit by landslides, and unfortunately at this hour, there's still no estimates of how many people are missing.
Yeah, and as you mentioned there, videos that are circulating on social media show these landslides and just how sort of powerful this is and just the amount of destruction that they do. I know that we're on the podcast here, but if you get an opportunity and see those videos, yeah, they're definitely pretty striking.
All right, let's move to South Texas to a massive drug seizure there in the valley, where police have found 700 gallons of liquid meth, this on Tuesday, with an estimated street value of $10 million.
Yeah, $10 million. That's unbelievable. So the bust took place in Pharr, which is just outside McAllen. An officer there on patrol saw 3 men pouring liquid from 55-gallon barrels into 5-gallon buckets near liquid tanker trailers.
The officer also noticed a crystal-like formation on those barrels. He called for backup, and the liquid was tested out, and it did turn out to be meth.
So this case will now be turned over to the assistant U.S. attorney because of this large amount of this seizure. And I referenced that TV show because this made me think of the scene in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that scene where they're like moving all this like meth from these trailers. It's a moving trailer. So yeah, these scenes out there from the valley are very similar to that. And I think we were talking before this in one of our meetings that this is one of the largest or bust down there.
Yeah, it's a historic bust. Yeah,
Okay,
this is believed to be one of the biggest ones, $10 million worth of meth. And I did mention earlier that it was Tuesday. I know it was this week, but I believe this broke yesterday, and reporters along the valley keeping a close eye on that. But back here at home, well, really across Texas, this week marked 1 year after that deadly winter storm here in Texas. We, of course, know that power grid failure. People are still talking about it.
Yeah.
It left people freezing. In freezing temperatures indoors for days.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this as we were getting ready for this show, because now we obviously talked earlier this week about just the anniversary of when the rolling outages started, but then the power outages continued for days, and then we had the water go out. So I think today,
It's just a big
last
trickle
Thursday
effect.
a year ago, was really when the water went out and everything kind of went a little crazy. But yesterday, the group Public Citizen held a protest in front of CPS headquarters to mark the day and make sure that nothing like this ever happens again.
Didi Balmares. I'm a climate justice organizer with Public Citizen.
What kind of message are you guys trying to tell them?
We're trying to tell CPS Energy and the city to be better prepared for extreme weather events, because we know they're going to keep on happening in the future. We're also telling them that they needed to winterize their plants so that we make sure that we don't go through what we did last year. They have taken some measures to protect us, but with something like severe as Winter Storm Uri, I don't know if we are prepared for that. I don't know if we're prepared for like a very, very hot summer that puts stress on the grid either.
All right, so state lawmakers added requirements for the power grid, but some have questioned the loopholes still in place.
And CPS Energy has said they winterized their plants, but have acknowledged some of their infrastructure still needs to be updated.
I mean, most recently with the freeze, the story that I had focused on is there were still several neighborhoods throughout San Antonio that were without power for close to 24 hours, and a lot of those, unfortunately, were because of the trees. So right now the big debate, is it a city thing or is it a CPS thing? When does the CPS take over to trim trees that are leaning on the electric poles or the lines? So still a lot of debate on,
and a lot of things
prepared?
obviously go into it, like you said. I mean, pulling trees out or cutting them, trimming them, and trying to figure out everything that goes along with the infrastructure as well. So,
And again, I still don't have a clear answer for
okay,
the
I was about to ask
families.
you about that. Yeah,
so
what was sort of the end result of that?
It can be. So if you're part of an HOA, the HOA could have some responsibility to do with it. The city will take care of it, Public Works, if the tree has fallen in the way. So if it's in the right of way, that's when they will step in.
Okay.
And then CPS is supposed to step in, but they have different height requirements. They do have a great graphic on their website, but
keeps on
if
getting
it
more
leans,
layered.
if the tree limbs are leaning, touching the electric pole, then that's when they should take care of it. In the case that I saw specifically with a neighborhood in North San Antonio, they're clearly leaning, and CPS has not trimmed those. So again,
a lot of things to consider there. All right, switching gears a little bit here. Big changes for two major music festivals out there in California. Coachella and Stagecoach announced this week that they are dropping all COVID-related measures for festival goers. That means no masks, no vaccinations, and not even negative tests. Alicia, how do you feel about all this?
My thoughts, my feelings on this do not matter because I do not go to those festivals. But the admission update was actually tweeted by Stagecoach. That same company runs Coachella. But this is in accordance with local guidelines. Coachella, of course, hasn't tweeted anything. However, again, same policy there. Do you know Stagecoach?
No.
Okay,
no.
so that
Fill
one
me
is
in on
a
that one.
country music festival, very similar to Coachella, you know, out in the desert. But, you know, Coachella is more pop, I guess more of a variety of music, like the hits.
Absolutely.
And then again, Stagecoach is more of it is country.
That's very interesting. Either festivals I know are pretty huge. So the California Department of Public Health issued new guidelines that went into effect yesterday, saying vaccination proof will no longer be required for large outdoor events. Pretty crazy.
So with this, Disney also making changes. As of today, face masks are now optional for fully vaccinated visitors at its U.S. theme parks. So that's California and Florida. But know this, that Disney does not require proof of vaccination to even get into their parks.
So I was just there last week, and they were still pretty strict on the mask thing. In fact, we were in line for one of the attractions, and one of the cast members, as they called him, basically kind of yelled at this guy to put his mask. It was just taking pictures. And so, they're pretty strict about it. I'm surprised with the amount of people that go there or to any of these festivals.
I was going to ask, so were there still long lines?
Oh, yeah,
at
it
Disney?
was absolutely
Not
packed.
still, are there?
Yeah,
Because-
absolutely. I mean, it was crowded. And so that's why I'm shocked. I kept my mask on for most of the time, pretty much for everything.
Well, with these festivals, it is hard to enforce. I've been out to concerts and you know, they say wear your masks, but no one was wearing their mask, and there's really no one out there enforcing it. So it's still a lot of changes. And then it was back in the fall when Stagecoach, when these festivals did announce that they weren't going to require one of the COVID-19 barriers. But now again, everything is done with.
Very
Back
interesting
to
stuff there.
pre-pandemic times for these two festivals.
I think people are kind of getting used to going back and stuff, but you're right, pretty interesting changes there.
All right, RJ, this is a story I'm very excited about. It's, of course, made its rounds on social media. Many in the Down syndrome community are celebrating an inclusion and diversity milestone, proving again that people with Down syndrome can achieve their goals despite their condition, and this deals with Victoria's Secret.
Absolutely, this is a great story, and as you mentioned, Victoria's Secret, they have their first model with Down syndrome in their new collection. So forgive me if I mispronounce the name here, Sophia Giroux?
Hidao.
She's that's
Latina.
right. Okay.
Yes. So Sofia Hidao, she's also a Latina from Puerto Rico, and she's 24 years old, and she celebrated this accomplishment on Instagram, of course, saying in part, quote, "One day I dreamed of it, worked on it, and today it is a dream come true." So this is just so great to see. Again, for Latina, I believe she's the second Puerto Rican who is part of a Victoria's Secret campaign, but she's the first Down syndrome model. So, you know, forming part of Victoria's Secret. So how great. Congratulations to her.
And as you mentioned off the top there, inclusion and diversity, we're seeing a lot of changes when it comes to those things in several corporations. Victoria's Secret has made a lot of changes over the past couple of years, so it's great to see this story. And she looks so happy there to be part of this collection.
I mean,
That's
I think any girl, any model who is pursuing this career, being part of a Victoria's Secret campaign or just a huge international campaign like this, it's a big deal. So good for her. Congratulations, Sofia Hidao.
Great stuff there. All right, get ready, Alicia, to get your putt on with Pixar characters.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I was hesitant to say Pixar putt.
That is
Pixar Putt.
Pixar
Putt. Yeah, Pixar Putt is an outdoor mini golf course dedicated to, as you can guess, all things Disney Pixar.
That is so cool. Well, it's temporarily popping up this April in downtown, right by the Frost Tower, and Pixar Putt will be open from April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. It'll stay open until May 15th, and tickets will go on sale to the public this Friday. So if you can just imagine, the lines are going to be long. Any pop-up is always, oh my gosh, they even have Up.
Yeah, Up, of course. The house in Up, a big part of the attraction here. So the pop-up is an interactive course that's inspired by all these stories, themes, and characters of the films. And some of the films showcase, of course, the classic, the OG, Toy Story, The Incredibles, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and of course, my guy, Miguel, Coco.
That is so cool. You know, I'm not one to really like go to these pop-ups ever, but I am so willing to do this. The course is for Pixar fans of all ages, so me, and there will even be after dark sessions. Oh, that's what I want, for people 18 years or older on the weekends.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, those after dark sessions, those are going to be really interesting. I think they're going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and again, these tickets go on sale to the public tomorrow, so a lot of excitement about this here. Do you have a favorite Pixar movie?
Okay, so I will cry instantly with Up. So that is one of my favorites. Of course, Coco. I probably watched it. I own the DVD.
Okay.
So that is how that's how much I'm committed to watching that movie. I love it so much. And then Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's a
love
classic.
that movie.
Yeah.
You? And then Toy Story, right? Is part
Well,
of it?
Toy Story, yeah. So I'm not a big Toy Story fan. I know that that's the classic, that's the iconic one that got it all started there. Coco, of course, that one's great. And also, as you mentioned, Monsters, Inc., I like that one. Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Oh,
that story is precious. But I think, I don't know, for me it's between Up and Coco, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Want to take a look at some Facebook comments here, Alicia, before we end things here on KSAT News Now this Thursday morning. So Michael Sinclair, thank you again. Michael is one of our top fans here.
Hey, Michael,
he's commenting
thank you so much.
all the time. Yes, definitely. And he says, yeah, that would be pretty fun to play golf there. And Rose de la Fuente is talking about that drug bust that we were mentioning earlier. She says, great job, historical bust. Obviously, great job to the law enforcement there.
Yeah, $10 million worth of meth, and it was just because an officer, I mean, they're trained for this.
Yeah.
They know that this is a huge corridor for drugs being trafficked. So he saw something wrong and then did his job of going and figuring it out. And then that crystallization, that's a huge thing when it comes to meth. And that's what, again, these officers are trained to do. And now it's a historic bust.
Yeah, and they mentioned in their statement on Facebook that obviously this does not just affect their region. This is drugs, liquid meth that was going to be circulated throughout the U.S. So yeah, great job by that officer. As you mentioned, just noticing something out of the ordinary that really sort of caught his attention there.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for tuning in today to KSAT News Now on this Thursday. Again, like, subscribe to our podcast.
Yes.
We'll see you tomorrow, Friday at 11 a.m. Have a good day.
It's Friday, almost Friday.